So, hey guys, it's me Adam. So today we are going to start the Twitter talks, and on stage we have Swatilekha. So if you don't know her, she's actually an intern at Microsoft, as well as she has won a multiple number of hackathons as well. She's also won Microsoft Fix-a-thon, which is like 9 round covering hackathons. So you must be knowing how difficult it is, right? Yeah, and she's also done many other roles as well. So she will be talking mainly about her different preparation journeys, as well as we'll also be having a small AMA with her as well. So you can ask your doubts, any queries you'll be having about it as well. So yeah, without wasting any time, let's give the stage straight to. Uh,
Thank you so much, Adam, and thank you so much to QVTech for giving me this opportunity. I'm really happy to be here today. So, before we get started with the AMS session, I would love to introduce myself. So, hello everyone, I'm Swatilekha Roy, presently a final year student pursuing computer science and engineering from Kuchbehar Government Engineering College, and I identify with the pronouns she and her. And I'm presently, like Adam mentioned, I'm a support engineer intern at Microsoft since the past couple of months. And I'm also the growth in charge at the Silicon Valley based edtech startup nonprofit organization where I really enjoy working and mentoring high school and middle school students on technology and entrepreneurship. And in my like whenever I'm not like working, I also indulge in doing anything that's creative and that's something that's soul searching. So I love making digital art, writing, filmmaking, and also connecting with people just like we are doing right now. And I can be found during my weekends mostly indulging in hackathons because I love doing hackathons. And like Fix-a-thon was also a hackathon, so I think one of the major reasons why I could progress that far was because I had been in. I had been involving myself doing hackathons for quite a few weeks leading up to that. So that really helped me shape my kind of career path because hackathons are a great way to learn because there is this time bound and you are working in a team, so you learn just not technology skills but also all kinds of professional skills which you require even later in your life. So be it teamwork, collaboration, or just kind of bouncing ideas off each other. I think all these skills are super valuable when you move to your professional life. And I think another aspect of my role at Applied Computing Foundation that I really enjoy is organizing events because I get to interact with a diverse set of people, and it's very enlightening to hear their stories and kind of learn all about technology and how people see it in their through their own lens. And I think most of our mentoring at ACF it takes place through tech and entrepreneurship and by building real world products to a unique community based startup ecosystem. I think something that's I think highly relatable to you as well because I read about QVTech and I think you are also aligned to that mission. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. And over to you, Adam. Like feel free to moderate and like ask me questions, and I'm happy to answer.
yeah. So when I saw your profile, the first question I had was, how do you manage doing all this stuff as well as manage college studies as well? Like I tried to do it last year, but was not able to do it completely. So how do you actually manage both of these? Like not both, you're doing a lot of stuff. So how do you manage everything?
Okay, yeah, great question. So I think one thing that stands out mostly for me is having passion to do something because I know like college studies, to be honest, it's I think like not embarrassed to say this out
Yeah,
loud,
I
but I
get it.
think yeah, I
Mm.
mean most of us, right? So we usually study like a week or so before or 2 weeks before, whatever. So it's
Yeah.
I'm not saying that yeah it's not a good idea to ignore your studies completely, but I think as long as you are doing what is required of you for college, I think there are still several months that you have like time on your hands to do other kinds of stuff. So I think it's a very good idea to kind of balance your day and kind of have this vision when you wake up in the morning as to what your schedule or what your day would look like. I think what I did a lot is to be kind of setting myself calendar slots as to this is going to be the time that I'm going to do some focused work. This is going to be the time that I'm going to like edit a film. So I think this kind of, and also another thing that's important about this journey is don't do away with your free time. Don't like take up too much on yourself because otherwise it's just too overwhelming and too much on your plate. I think what I used to do a lot is at one point of time, if I'm like too focused on doing hackathons, I would kind of let CP take a kind of a backseat, and then when I kind of I was tired of like doing multiple weekends of like staying up all night, then I just took some break and took some time off for myself, and I like went back to doing my college work or just like geeky stuff. And then apart from that, I think all the other programs that I've been a part of, so like MLH prep and then internships, all of them, they had been kind of at the same time while I'm also running my college studies and stuff. So again, another thing that's important for this is kind of being disciplined. Like it's not like I've been super disciplined all along, but I think I've been a early riser for quite a while. So I think that kind of helps me be productive during the day because I wake up early, and I think that although it might be just like illusionary, just might be an illusion, and it might just work exactly fine if you are a late night owl. But I think yeah, I think waking up early, making kind of having this vision of what my day should look like, and making sure that I complete at least 75% of my to-do list. I think that really worked for me, and like so far I've been able to balance stuff out. And I'm not being a very routine-based kind of person, so I know like there are days where I might wake up early, and then there are days where I might wake up late. So I think yeah, I think impression, or the first thing that that they see of you. So it's important to have your resume just right. And I think for this specific role, they also consider your grades, which is not which is not compulsory in all the roles that you apply to. But yeah, so for my resume, I think I put special highlights on all the leadership positions that I had been a part of. So like I mentioned, for the nonprofit organization that I work for, so I've been leading that team for quite a while. So I organize the events, I get to mentor high school and middle school students. So it's a lot of leadership role at the same time. And I think also my previous tech internship, so I had worked at this very small startup called 26 Ideas. That was my first tech internship. I made their website, I worked with them for quite a while. I even did like QA testing, which is not something that I enjoyed a lot, but I think it gave me some just not the technical skills but also patience, because it's very taxing to kind of like look at bugs all day and fix them. So yeah, I think I highlighted all these major sections on my resume. And also again, I didn't put my grades on my resume because they didn't feel relevant and they went like super great. So yeah, that's also something that's debatable. Make sure that your grades are like super like flying colors in order to be putting them on the resume. Otherwise, if you're not putting them, that's completely fine. You can, like outshine with other stuff as well. So I highlighted my skills that were relevant to the support engineering role, and also I think, yeah, positions of responsibility. I think that's what helped my resume stand out. Oh, there was this other thing. So I also won these hackathons, right? So the very first hackathon that I won, the category that I won for was like coincidentally it was best use of Azure for social good. And it was sponsored by Microsoft, and that was also on my resume. So I'm not sure if that's something that stood out, but just mentioning to you just in case, because I think since it was applying for Microsoft, maybe that might have stood out to them. So that was the first round. Once that was done, they screened the initial 3,000 to 5,000 applicants, and after that they had a GD round, group discussion, where I think we were put in groups of 5 to 6 candidates each, and they were Microsoft employees who interviewed us. So that was the second round, and once that was done, I think they selected around 150 candidates out of that pool, which was kind of I think the phase 3, and they had this all these mentoring sessions. So what's a very good and special thing about Fix-a-thon is they don't expect you to know a lot in the initial days. So it's not like interviews are super technical or something. Like they get technical by the end of the session, because they already teach you what you need to know in order to be acing these interviews. So there was this month-long learning session where they used to give us tech sessions on Windows, Azure, and Active Directory, and then networking, all these things that you need for the support engineering role. And once that was done, they had this break fix challenge, which was like a 1.5 hour long interview for and it was an individual interview, unlike the GD round before. So I had to sit in front of the screen, and then I was given a lab that they had technically deliberately broken the code for that lab, and I had to kind of like look around Azure portal and find what the error was, and then like fix that. So something else that's very important about the break fix round is how calm or how collected you keep all throughout the interview, rather than how much you get to, because I think nobody in our entire batch could solve the bug. It was like super tough, and they didn't expect you to. So the thing that they were testing is how well you perform under pressure, because most of the support engineering role, it's about dealing with customers on a daily basis, troubleshooting very severe issues, and for that you need to have a calm and collected mind. So I think that's what they tested the most, and how well you were communicating, how the solution that you were taking, or the like basically a problem solving approach. So that was the break fix round. Like I mentioned, I didn't I thought I completely flunked it because I hadn't solved the bug, but then like later on, I think after a week there was also the certification test that I had to take for Microsoft. And after those two rounds were done, like completely unexpectedly, I received the acceptance mail that like I had moved on to the next phase, which was again like super surprising for me. But then after that, I think they had selected only 50 candidates for this round, and that was like the main round. So the hackathon phase. Next, we moved on to phase 3, and this phase I actually interacted with my fellow participants, and I figured out that none of them had solved the bug. So I felt a little better about myself, because initially I was like, how did I make the cut? I have no clue. So anyway, so next on we had the hackathon phase, which is like the most important, and everyone was waiting for it. And like of course you can imagine, after so many screening rounds, the only 50 candidates to remain, like all of them were like of course were super competitive, and it was overall a very like unique experience. But also it was a lot of learning and fun, because we made a lot of good friends during that process, because it was like 3 months long, so you had to talk to people. And during the hackathon, I think it was mostly they had given us 6 to 7 problem statements, and it was kind of first competition where we had to solve them individually, and then after that we had a group discussion where we had to for 48 hours. And I think I was put in a team of around 5 people. That was the like same for almost everyone. There were around 10 to 11 teams. And after that round, I think there was this first presentation round where we had to present to 3 Microsoft employees, and two of them were like super senior, like they were into super leadership roles. So I think one of them she had 25 plus years of experience. So it was very intimidating, but at the same time, it was a very good learning experience. They gave us very good feedback on our project, and it was a half an hour presentation round, including QA. And like they really grilled us during the QA. And again, they weren't expecting us to have all the answers, but again, they wanted us to kind of be calm and collected, and how well we were tackling their questions. So after that presentation round, they only selected, I think, yeah, top five teams. We made it into the semifinals, so luckily. And then after semifinals, we had to work on the presentation a bit more, because they suddenly like made a change of rules. They deliberately did that to challenge us more. They just told us to turn that 30 minutes presentation into 9 minutes presentation, just to kind of tax us. And we had to do that for the final round. So for the final presentation, I think our team like did really well. We were also very satisfied with it, and our judges were quite satisfied, because they didn't ask us a single question. And like to our and then I mean, obviously we didn't expect to win, but then after a couple of days when the results got released, we got to know that we won. And after that was they rolled out the interview letters for, I think, out of all the winning teams, they selected around 14 individuals whom they interviewed. And then I think they promoted around 12 to 13 of them. Only I think one person got cancelled out. But I think the best thing about Fix-a-thon is they don't expect you to win in order to be interviewed. Even all the teams that make it into the top 50. So basically, the top 10 teams that make it into the hackathon phase. All of them, they stand an equal chance to get invited in interviews. So it's not like you have to win in order to get that internship role. They actually monitor and test your acumen all throughout the process, and see how well you communicate, how well you work in a team, how well you collaborate, and how much you're helping people. Because I know, like at Microsoft, that's a really big deal. You have to be accommodating and inclusive and helpful in order to be yeah, in order to make a part or make the cut. So after that, I had just one interview. I only had an HR interview, thankfully, because my previous performance so far, it had been satisfactory according to them. So I didn't have to give a tech interview, because I had already been doing all these tech interviews so far. So I only had the HR interview. But then a lot of participants I know, they had 2 rounds of interviews, but not more than 2 rounds. One would be a tech interview and one would be the HR interview, and after that they rolled out the final selection mails in December. And that was the Fix-a-thon journey. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Adam.
Yeah, okay. So if any audience have any questions to ask, you can ask it right now.
Can I go next? Hey, hey Swati, it was great.
Hi.
Two,
Yeah.
2 weeks before you study for the day of the exam? No, I study on the day of the exam.
I
and
was just trying to be polite. Yeah.
all right, so you are also my team. So I agree with you about taking up too much. I was hospitalized, so make sure everyone gives utmost importance to your health first, and the to-do list every day. Best suggestion. You take all my points which I wanted to mention. Anyway, also one thing which you mentioned was performing under pressure, and the approach matters a lot more in the interviews rather than the solution itself. So after hearing all the things that you were talking, I'm very curious about your role at Microsoft. Is it a non-tech? How's the role treating you? That was my question.
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. So, to start with, support engineer role, it doesn't involve a lot of coding, because a lot of individuals who come into the role, they come with that misconception. So, just to clear that out in the very beginning. But as a support engineer, you have to deal with customers daily, and handle all the technical, all the troubleshooting. So, there are different tiers of customers that we have at Microsoft. So, we have to deal with them, and we have to troubleshoot based on the severity of the issues. And your role as a support engineer would be assisting them, helping them troubleshoot by either through phone, mail, or even screen sharing. We use quick assist for that. And yeah, I mean, mostly troubleshooting issues, helping your customers. And in some cases, when the issue is something that's not yet a part of Microsoft's product, or something that needs to be escalated, or something that's a bug on the back end, you have to collaborate with the developers or even the product team to make sure that it gets solved and the customer is happy, and that issue is troubleshooted completely. So we have to see through the entire issue getting solved, right, and throughout the entire cycle. So that's mostly the role as a support engineer at Microsoft. And about the question about how the role has been treating me so far, I think I enjoy it a lot because as a person, I used to be very shy initially, but then now I actually love connecting with people and talking to them because I love hearing stories and stuff. So I think as a role, this role is a I mean, the support engineer role is a very good blend of technical and also communication skills. So I think I enjoy that role, and also I'm like usually I'm very calm and collected under pressure. So that's something about me and my personality. So I think that's something that serves as a big strength as a part of my role at Microsoft. Yeah,
That was a great answer. Thank you for answering that. Okay,
of course.
cool.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, like feel free to ask any more questions, or like we can also discuss other stuff as well. Mm.
Also, I had just one question. So you mentioned about participating in a lot of hackathons, right? So
Yeah.
how do you actually come up for ideas, like what product to make?
Oh, I love that question. That's I think the first motivation that stands out for me is how excited I am about the idea. So in case again, before I start getting into the details, I think
Hey, Adam, are you able to hear?
No, I thought mine had been.
Exactly, even I thought the same. I guess we need to
I
inform her.
think it'll be better if she just turns off the camera.
Yeah, maybe she is still talking with the complete enthusiasm, but it's going nowhere.
Can you just call her and ask? Hmm? Uh,
Yeah, I can hear you. Could you hear me before? Or did?
no, you got disconnected
Oh, I see.
while you were speaking about the hackathon.
Oh, that's really bad. I'm so sorry.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah. So how much did you like get to
uh,
catch?
you just started talking about how to get ideas for hackathons. You just started. That's when I let you
Oh,
go.
oh, I see. Okay, all right, no worries. So I can just like repeat what I was starting off with. Yeah. So whenever I'm trying to think of a hackathon project, I usually there are some central themes that I always try to take care of and try to inculcate in all my apps. So some of these are like inclusivity and bringing people together, mental health, or just kind of making sure that something it's that marries technology and creativity very well, because I think that defines me as a person too. So the very first hackathon app that I made, it was like with my teammates Chehek, Nandini, and Shomi. So the idea we decided on was a mental health app that uses music to help people deal with emotional turmoil, and also brings them calm and peace. And we also, I think, a very important aspect of that app was using storytelling and using the power of art to help calm people. And like there were four biomes that we shaped using like four different landscapes with music, just to kind of inculcate ASMR sounds. And all these four landscapes that we shaped, they were made entirely with CSS, JavaScript, and HTML, which was like a lot of hard work. So we made rain, and then like sea waves, and fireflies, and I think what was the other thing? Okay, I don't remember exactly. Anyway, so we did all of this using simply coding, and there was a lot of storytelling, which I like. Love writing scripts, like I mentioned. So I did this for this one app, and luckily for our hackathon sponsor, we had Disney and also Microsoft. So we presented to Disney and Microsoft live, and they were like super impressed by the storytelling. And I think again, that's something that really stands out during hackathon projects is if the team enjoys the project, I think it shows. I mean, it definitely shows, because unless you love something that you're doing and you are devoting like 48 hours to something that you don't enjoy doing, I think it will show that as well. So I think like it was two nights straight, we had to work without sleeping. So it was by the end of the hackathon, by the time we submitted, it was like super like zombie moment. And yeah, I think creativity and storytelling, I just kind of come back to it again and again while building on hackathon projects, because the very next project that I built for this hackathon called I think Pick Hacks, that was solely a entertainment based hackathon. And I built an app that was like we built an app that stood for connecting people through storytelling again. So there was this community where you can add one line of a story based on a particular theme, and then a complete stranger on the internet can just like come back and uh, keep adding up to the story. By the time it ends, it's like a complete story formed by different people. So this is like, again, two benefits for this. One is like building a community, and second is promoting art and storytelling. And I think that's also something that stood out to our judges, because I mean, especially during that time when I started hackathons, it was like deep into the pandemic, and people were already finding it difficult to connect to others, especially artists and story like writers. They were finding it difficult to have platforms to speak up. So I think that really helped them, and also like using technology to help artists and writers. That's like totally up my alley. And yeah. Another app that I think that we made was a dating app for asexuals, because I know like with the LGBTQI community, there's a lot of there's a lot of dating apps now available solely for LGBTQ individuals, but we didn't find a lot of like competing products only for asexual individuals. So we tried building something along those lines, because again, whenever you do something that's already not existing in market, or something that's already with people being hurt and people with being marginalized, when you are already dealing with something that's serious and that requires a lot of gravity, I think you have to be very careful. So I think even during making hackathon projects, we made sure that we researched a lot, and we didn't make any make something that would hurt people, or something that would not be as well received as we as as good as the intentions that we were putting in when we were building that particular app or project. So yeah, I think that's mostly some of my motivations when I like keep in the back of my mind whenever I'm trying to build something. Yeah, I think that answers your question. And I also think I was audible throughout the I hope I was audible throughout the entire thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you were. So all of them were excellent ideas, especially the one where you complete a story user by user. We actually used to play that game in college. We didn't realize we can actually make an
Oh.
app out of it. Yeah,
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, that's yay. Yeah, like I think storytelling, it connects people. So yeah, it always
yeah,
excites me,
totally.
and it always brings a smile to my face whenever I'm trying to talk about it.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask. If anyone in the audience has questions, free feel to ask. We still have time.
Yeah. I think we had 18 people or something sign up, right? If I'm not wrong, let me check. Oh, 22. Okay. It might be like too early for them. I understand. This is
Yeah,
like nap time.
maybe because even I just came back from college right now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I I have another meeting like right after. Otherwise, it would have made sense to
Yeah,
like do this
totally.
later. Yeah, yeah. So, are we like recording this session or something? Oh, we are. Awesome. Okay. All right. Yeah, I also see my best friend and my friend here. Like all of us are like yeah. Mm. Hi Poshali. Hi Suresh. Okay. Yeah. You too, of course. Yeah, I think Tiasha like organized the entire thing for us. So yeah, thank you, Tiasha. And thank you, Adam, for reaching out. Yeah. Yeah, we share a lot of exam memories together, right? Yeah, sure, for sure.
Yeah, my net is kind of weak right now, so that's why we see. Hello. Yeah, I'm audible, right? All right. Yeah. So I think no one else has any questions to ask. So yeah. So it was nice hosting you. Nice hosting you. And we also expect you to like come and host more sessions in the future. We'll be doing more as well. So also thanks a lot for sharing your preparation journey as well as like I had a lot of questions, so I was able to get a solution to it as well, especially the hackathon ones because I like to attend a lot of hackathons, but I really have a tough time finding like ideas for it. So, yeah. So, again, thanks for hosting the session. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, of course, no worries at all. And if you have any other questions when you are like personally participating in hackathons, like feel free to let me know. I'll like try to be of more help. Yeah.
Sure thing.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Praveen. Okay.
Bye,
See
guys.
you all soon. Bye. Bye.